Hi, welcome. In this video, I'd like to discuss the issue of commands, or when people begin to invest in the system of training at the starting point of overcoming behavior issues of not using commands. And again, this is where this challenges people like absolutely crazy, because the kind of traditional or mainstream way of thinking, about training itself is as a learning type of exercise, where you say a command, you verbalize what you want the dog to do, and you motivate or incentivize the dog to do it. So that's the kind of go-to in the dog training world. But really, when you go deeper into this to understand what the intent is or what your goals are, and understanding dogs are social relational animals, and I encourage people to really think about that, really think about what I'm saying in this video, is that once you understand these control issues, it's because the dog has already pegged the person in a weak position. So the value and the meaning attributed to verbal language, it's all about relationship. Just like, and again, you can take all my examples and apply it to the human world. So just like parenting, it's why, some children, who can kind of manipulate, maybe are spoiled and are selfish, and what's been established, at the relationship level, you see parents talking to the kids and they're counting to 10 to get them out of the toy aisle, and the kid is not coming. It's like, well, I'll wait till 11 or 12, then I might come out, because they already know. I mean, it's about relationship. Now, again, people take it the other way and start defining things as, if it doesn't subscribe to a certain way of thinking, then it's abusive. That's not what I'm talking about, I'm talking about right relationship. It's like there's 4 styles of parenting. The style of parenting that this system represents is the authoritative parenting style, not the authority. Now, there's authoritarian, which is, again, over the top. Or mainstream dog training right now, what they're promoting through this learning narrative is more of a permissive or indifferent type of parenting style, It shifts the focus. So here, getting back to this issue about not using commands, it's understanding what your goals are. It's understanding what the intent is, and it's understanding where you're speaking a different type of language through the methodology. The dog knows the intent, And so therefore, to verbalize it defeats the purpose of what your goal is. Now, here's the interesting thing. Here's the thing that will make sense. Is as through the method, through the language that you're speaking through this method, through the relational system or method, that as relational change takes hold, that's what subscribes value to the spoken word. So after, say, 2-3 weeks, you can start to lean on commands. Commands come online, but everything lines up. So in fact, everything makes sense, as you do it. So, but again, it's all about understanding how these things line up. It's understanding the issue about motives in dogs. It's understanding control, but it's understanding how to move the relationship from point A to point B. Really think about, so when I talk about not using commands and the dog understanding the intent, through the method, through the type of influence, this is where we take this right back to when I talk about what's the motivator. Well, we have to think different here. When you think about what's a motivator, what motivates the dog, you're talking about incentivizing the dog and working off a position of weakness. Just think about what I'm saying, just like parenting, right? You have to, just like creating parental influence. Well, how do you do that? Doesn't necessarily mean you're going to spank your child, It means that you're going to begin to put up boundaries. You're going to start to invest. This is why I talk about the system about investing relationally, investing at a level that's going to translate into something meaningful happening. And what's that something? It's relationship. So again, so when you're looking at the issue about a motivator, well, the process itself is defined relationally through the method itself. The dog coming into agreement with, that's a big word. Really think about that. Dog coming into agreement with, as defined by the type of influence within the parameters of what's reasonable, that's your motivator. In fact, the process is what creates change, approaching it for what it represents. So again, I encourage people to really think about that issue about commands. You start to verbalize things. Your dog already has no respect for you, sees you as weak, and the dog's moving around in full control and saying, well, what's in it for me? So this is where the picture can look a certain way, but be totally upside down. You have to walk it back, okay? You have to get to the core, what's really happening. You have to understand how these things line up. This is why this system of training follows a very specific sequence, okay? It identifies the process rightly, properly, okay, to make sure things line up. Unknowingly, people are really doing two things at the same time, not really even understanding it. Okay, training itself is really a relational changing process. The majority of people are approaching some sort of type of learning-based exercise, and they're letting their hands off the wheel. Okay, they don't. This is why things really will go off the wheels will come off the train, and people say, what's going on here? Well, it's not the fault of the dog. It's a fault of the process, understanding the approach. It's not a learning-based exercise. So again, I would really encourage you, if you're looking for answers, check out this system of training. It truly is one of a kind. You're not going to hear trainers out there talking about not using commands and why and breaking the stuff down like this. This entire system is based off of understanding the process properly, understanding how to get the relationship from point A to point B, to make sure the motives of the dog clean up, and to overcome all your behavior issues and problems. It doesn't even matter if you're dealing with aggression. This system can handle it. So again, take a look at the options. There are lots of great options available to help dog owners. Thanks for watching.